Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video at my YouTube channel. Today I'm coloring a some odd girl image called Renew, and she looks like a little princess to me, so I am going to use what is called a sparkly technique on her gown, on the underside of her gown, and make her look like a sparkly little princess. But first I'm starting off with the skin, and I'm using my go-to skin colors, which is E04, E11, E21, E00, and R20 for the cheeks. And then I will come back at the end of the coloring and use one of the colors from her dress for her lips. So I start with my darkest and map in all my shadows and everything, and then work my way to my lightest. When it comes to my skin tones, I tend to be a bit heavy-handed. I put some color on the R20 on her lips, and I decided that was not dark enough, so I'm going to use one of the pinks from her dress later on. But anyway, so I tend to be a bit heavy-handed, so I find that I get a better result on the skin tones if I go from darkest to lightest. And then I just decided to give her some blue eyes, which I did not write down those colors, but I think they were B06, 04, and 02. Oh no, I'm sorry, B05, 04, and 02. I did write down those colors. Okay, and then now I'm working on the hair. This is a fairly new hair color combination for me. I think this is actually the first time I've tried it out. And it is a Y21, E50, E42, E43, and E44. And I took one of the lightest colors and I mapped where I was thinking that the shadows need to be. And if you do it with the lightest, and if you decide you don't like where one of those shadows are, it's easy to change because it's just your lightest color. And I think I did end up changing a few of those. And so I'm just going to work my way out to my darkest color, and then I will go backwards, working my way back to the lightest color. So while I finish that up, I will talk to you a little bit more about the sparkly technique. I saw it done on a channel called Crafty Bit, and it's Marika, and she is a super awesome colorist. So if you're looking for more people to watch their Copic coloring, she is fantastic. I love her stuff, and so I learn a lot from her, and the sparkly technique was one of the things. This is the very first time I ever tried it out. I think I did pretty good on it. She did a whole entire gown where I kind of just did highlights and things, and then I just did the underside of her gown. So you can make a whole little Disney princess gown with this technique, but it does take some patience. I think my whole footage on this, including making the card front and everything, which I already had part of my card base done from a previous video when I was playing with my new Cosmic Shimmer paste. But I had an hour's worth of footage, and probably most of that was the coloring. Okay, on the outer layer of the dress, I used RV21, R35, RV29, and R59. And again, I just took one of my lighter colors and I went in and mapped out where I thought all the darkest areas should be, trying to, and I just pointed at my marker tip because it was really, really juicy. So you can see I took that back cap off, and that kind of helps keep it from blooping out on you. So if you ever see your marker tip like really shiny and juicy looking, it's about to bloop out on you. And so just take that other cap off, and that will keep it from doing that. Not sure why, but it does. So because that can ruin a project quickly. Anyway, finishing up those colors, and then I will color the underside, which I will do in RV10, RO2, and RO4. Not R, RV. RV10, RV02, and RV04. You color it just as you would, want it colored normally. And then you go back and do the sparkle technique over the top of that. So just color your image as you normally would. So I've got this sped up a lot too. This is like 600 times sped up. And I'm going to do her little headband the same colors as that underside of her dress, because I'm going to make it sparkly too. And I'll remember and get it in just a minute. There we go. Doesn't take long, just going from darkest to lightest on that. Just to give a good highlight there on that one side. And there I did her lips. Okay, so I found some colors out of my Sakura Stardust and my Sakura Glaze Jelly Roll pens, and then a white Jelly Roll size 8 to do this technique. And I started with my darkest color and went into all the shadow areas first and did a few dots beyond the shadow areas just to have it continue and be a good blend into the next colors. You can also use your colored pencils for this technique too. I've seen Marika use for like her darkest one, she would use like a colored pencil in the same color, and that would just kind of give it another shade and depth and everything. And then so within your next color, just a few dots in with the darkest ones, and then you extend it beyond the darkest ones, and then you have a few kind of here and there. And then I also added the Spica clear just to give it another little dimension of shine. And then I'm going in with the white, and the white goes up into the highlighted areas, and you want to make the little crisscross sparkle point, and you want to go over some of your black lines so it really gives that sparkle effect. And then I just use that same one to put the dots in her eyes. So here's her after I've got her all cut out from my brother's scan and cut, and I'm just going around the edge with my Memento Tuxedo black marker. When you do this, you don't want to use your Copic because an alcohol marker will bleed into your project. And you also always want to hold it from the back side. So if your marker slips, it's not going to slip across your freshly colored image. Okay, so now got her all outlined and everything. So she's ready. So I took a sentiment from, I think it's the Amazing stamp set. It just came in one of Simon's recent kits. And it says, "You're fantastic, amazing, and incredible." And I'm going to heat emboss this with some rose gold ultra fine embossing powder. And also to give it some shimmer, I'm going to take my Sheer Shimmer Craft Spray in the Frost. And this, whenever you use these sprays like this, the pigment always settles all the way down to the bottom. So you've got to make sure that you shake it really, really, really good and get all that pigment stirred up in there, or else you won't have any sparkle. So just shake it until you don't see any of it settled on the bottom anymore. And then I keep one of my little boxes handy, so I can just put this on top of my work surface and spray. And you want to spray from about 12 to 14 inches above to give it a nice good even coating. And then I'm just going to run this through my little sidekick with a little nested banner die. Love my little sidekick. It's so handy to have on the top of your desk. And then there's that background that I used with the stencil and that Cosmic Shimmer glitter kiss stuff. Okay, now I'm just going to pop up that panel with some foam tape. And every time I use tape, or any type of tape product, foam tape, or whatever, tape runner, I always mash everything down really good, because tape is pressure sensitive and it's not going to fully adhere unless you mash it down really, really good. And especially on this glitter paper, you want to make sure that, you know, you mash down everything really good and that you get good adhesion. So I think I'm also going to pop her up with some foam tape. I've already got that on there. So just peel off all those little liners quickly and get her mashed on there really good. And then I'm just going to add some liquid adhesive. I think, yeah, my go-to is Nuvo adhesive. I really like that adhesive. And get that affixed to the front of my card. And then I'll just use that same liquid adhesive to attach this whole panel to the front of my card base, which is Neenah 110 pound solar white. Makes great card bases. And then here's a final look at my card. I hope you enjoyed this glitter technique, and we'll see you again soon.